And it cuts across. For instance, let me give an example of another cybercrime I experienced personally. My website was hacked, and the guys inserted some codes on my website. So if you visit my website, it will automatically download those codes on your system, on your laptop, and then it will start stealing your secret information, your account information, your credit card information, your date of birth, your pictures, you know. And the funny thing about the kind of cybercrime that is going on now, is so smart and so powerful that it can take a hold of your PC. I mean, you have your computer, it's booting, you can see your computer, but behind it is a guy working on it. Honestly, I mean, you are there, you're seeing it. You might even be doing some work, but the guy is also doing some work, accessing every single information you have on your system. So part of what people need to do is that you need to start looking at having software that lock my PC on your system, software that can erase your data remotely if you have to, on your phone, on your tablets, on your PCs. This is a must for everybody who is carrying gadgets today, because you can lose your phone immediately and somebody can get into your phone and the person can wreak havoc with most of the things that you have. I mean, there's a guy in somewhere, an editor, and his iCloud account was hacked. Before the guy knew what was happening, the guy deleted every single information he had on the internet. From his Facebook to his Yahoo, he deleted everything. And guess what? He wrote him a personal email and told him that if he doesn't speak, he's going to tell him how he did it. And the guy agreed that he would report him to the police in the US. And he told him everything, step by step, how he performed the hack. Brilliant hack. Very brilliant.
Yeah, but Junior, please tell us. Is it as simple as you get an email from somebody saying, I'm stuck somewhere, my wallet has been stolen, please pay 100,000 into my account, when I come back I'll pay you back? And it's somebody you know, somebody in your
friends list,
your list, you know? Is it as simple as that? I'm sure there are more complicated scams going on the internet.
Should be told, cybercrime is an intelligent strategy. The criminals, they employ or they deploy all possible means to see how they could exploit someone over the internet. And it's really a crime that is committed with a computing device and a network. So as we see today, it is not just about sending a scam mail to someone. No. Cybercrime could come in place of malicious codes, which could be malware, it could be spyware, it could be keystroke login on your system.
What's that?
So before the email actually gets into your box, so many things has happened. Yeah. They have gotten your email information. How did they get your email ID? I think that is what we should bother about first. So, and that is tackling the root cause. Everybody should be made aware of the situation, like what Fred has just mentioned.
So enlightenment,
the education is very, very important, because we are all potential victims of cybercrime in one way or the other. In fact, we are most sometimes of cybercrime activities, and we actually do not know.
We are not unaware.
Yes, we actually do not know. So the truth is, we must be very vigilant. And on the other hand of the victims, we must also make sure that we eliminate greed and unreasonable expectations.
I always say that if you're not greedy, you can't be scammed.
That is just it.
I mean, they send you a mail, you have won £1 million in some lottery,
you have to call this
and you
number.
didn't take part in a lottery. So it follows you cannot win.
It's about reaping where you did not sow.
Yes.
About reaping where you did not sow. So it has become an issue that everybody has to put on red light. You understand? To actually foresee even before they begin to play these antics, and be at alert to see how we can forestall the future activities. The truth of the matter is that cybercrime is something that would not stop today. It would continue. So we must all be prepared to face the challenges from it and see how we can kill the menace.
All right, let me ask one day then. In terms of cybercrime, let's look at two sides of this coin. On the one side of it, from my perspective, there is the issue of the businesses should be able to take advantage of the internet, and you should be able to use your banking online. You want to buy products online, be able to get it. You want to pay for anything you want, be able to use it. regulations by government that will make it such that you're able to do that and do it safely. What regulations can we be looking at?
As I speak, I don't know of any cybercrime regulation that's available that I can run to if anything happens
in Nigeria,
to me. Nigeria.
Or outside of Nigeria?
Well, outside of Nigeria, I think the standard that people look up to is the Homeland Security Standard for cybercrime. It's a pretty much high, and it's a deliberate standard for security, but it places the honors of securing people on the networks on a network provider. There's a standard your network must get up to that people feel safe. As an example, you must have an intrusion prevention system, you must have an intrusion detection system, you must have a data that is almost unhackable. When I say almost unhackable, it takes a lot to hack it. You can have to spend thousands of dollars to hack into that data.
So in essence, most companies should have a secure server.
Should use a provider that has those kind of facilities. Because really, as an SME, let's look at our economy. An SME cannot afford to pay for most of these security devices, appliances, or software. So the question is, who is my provider? Ask them questions. What is the security in your network? I've had the privilege to interact with Nigerian interbank settlement system, and we're doing some stuff for them. And the first question is, how secure is your network? If you want to do transaction over your network, let us see what your network offers us in terms of security. And they're very comfortable with what we have, but they're asking us to do even extra to protect not our network or their network, but the man who wants to use his ATM to swipe at a POS terminal. So the onus is, first of all, on the network providers, and there must be a regulation that forces them to do this, because like I said,
who manages the network providers? The NCC?
The NCC does, but when it comes to cybersecurity, it becomes, there's a legal part to it and there's a regulatory part to it, and that's why it becomes complicated. What legal body is responsible for looking at the laws? If I commit a crime online, what legal body is responsible for that?
We don't have any
laws on that in Nigeria.
Yes.
So that's why I'm saying that let us start with ensuring that before the laws come up, people are secure. There are lots of smart guys like Junior here who can develop software, security software, and you'll be safe. The second thing is, like Junior mentioned, security is a very personal thing, and Fred has outlined that. It's a very personal thing. Also ensure that you secure your environment. Find out exactly what it takes to secure your passwords, your email addresses, your PC, your devices, regardless of how many they are. I will reiterate again, ask your provider questions. But there's no consumer protection agency that is alive to the responsibilities of asking the network, if I'm giving you 1 megabit of data, how is my data protected over your network? No one knows. We're just trusting that it's
so
safe.
If we now want to move into the realm of, move away from the individual and the people, move into the realm of government.
Yes.
And say, what should we be saying to our government in terms of enacting laws? Who should we be lobbying in the National Assembly to make sure that something is done to create bills that will protect every single Nigerian?
There's a committee that regulates, that looks at telecommunications in Nigeria. And there's also a committee that also looks at the judiciary and the legal frameworks in the country. I think what they should do, first of all, is to realize that this is an emergency. Billions are lost on a monthly basis in this country because of cybercrime. And if we don't see it as an emergency, we will begin to have issues with convincing people that the government is serious. But the first question is, does my senator, does my House of Rep member understand exactly what these things are?
What cybercrime is.
He has an iPad. He gets on the internet. As far as he's concerned, he's okay. Does he understand the implication of the fact that someone can hack into his system and then use it? Does he know what it means when his data gets up? Let me give a quick example here. There's a story of one of these Nollywood actors and his spouse, and had dirty deals with one governor in the East, and it was everywhere on the internet. Habibi was hacked. Very dirty details. Does that governor know if he had forced his own assembly to come up with laws, and then it has to be not just lobbying the National Assembly. We have to have a voice, all of us raise up and say, this is becoming serious. You get on Niger.com today, And you see stories that you like, how did this get out of someone's iPad? Because, and that is costing billions of naira. You have to look at what it costs a person to do PR. A Nigerian musician, Davido, had his pictures all over the internet about 6 months ago when he was in Ghana. I know how much it cost him to do PR, to get that off. So if HDB had all of those issues, it cost him a lot of money to do PR. That's how we lose money to solve a problem that could have been solved. So, first of all, how do we educate our leaders, those in the National Assembly? How do you educate the local government chairman? How do you educate those in the House of Assemblies nationwide so that they begin to see that this is an emergency? Unfortunately for us, the internet is not waiting in Nigeria. It's going and people are getting in line every day. And it's like getting on a train that has no brakes. Is it now I want to start calling the engineer, or what do we do?
Yeah,
Okay.
no, Fred. When a cybercrime is committed, we probably go to EFCC or go to the police. Do you think that our securities themselves are adequately informed and trained about these crimes which we expect them to investigate and solve for us?
No. There's no two ways about it, no. Because, I mean, if you, for instance, if you want to pin somebody down who is into cybercrime, you've got to know exactly what he's doing. You've got to have an idea of what he's doing. So I would say no. And I'll give you a typical example. One of my consultants, my friend, mentor, and mentor, I consult for him, Mazisa Muhabunwa. He had his Yahoo account hacked some time ago. And the person who hacked the account, first of all, deleted all his private questions, changed everything. So there was no way he can claim ownership of the account any longer. So that account was lost. You know what the guy did? Just like you mentioned, he started sending everybody emails that Mazi was in trouble. And because people know him, a lot of people were almost responding until he got to know. Now, in that case, the people who performed that were certainly close by. You know, they were certainly close by. I think he made effort. He called Yahoo. He made some effort, and nothing happened. What it simply means is that the people who are supposed to enforce these laws need training. I mean, if they even have to learn the principles of hacking, then so be it, because you can't catch a criminal if you don't understand what he's doing. And the hackers, they are most times gentle people. It's not shown on their faces. Very cool guys, cool ladies, very cool people, and they do these things. So for our security agents to be able to tackle this, they've got to undergo some bit of training. They've got to understand how it works, because the truth of the matter is that it is it works like a speed of light. Very, very. We're sitting down here before you know what's happening. The guy is in your account before you know what's happening. Just like it's mentioned about a politician. Somebody can go into your account and mess up everything. Just imagine a Facebook account of a prominent politician reads something, and the guy says, "How do you not explain it wasn't me?" It's difficult. By then, the deed is done. So this cuts across everybody, government, and just like Wendy mentioned, the internet is going to cause a very massive revolution in this country. I tell people everywhere, whether we accept it or not, whether we like or not, whether we believe in it or not,
it will happen
today
at some
it's
point.
happening. It is our children, our families, our fathers, everybody is going on the internet.
Yeah, sure.
And there has to be regulation. It is very important. I'll give you an instance. Apart from the home security that is in charge, the FCC in the US is also doing a lot. Yeah. For instance, you can't send me unsolicited mail if I don't accept. The FCC will fine you for that if I report the FCC. So every email provider, for example, has what is called the FCC Act. You have to send emails to only people who have accepted to receive that emails. That they came up with the idea because they understand that one of the ways to perpetrate cybercrime is emails. Send an email.
Yeah, how come spam is still so rampant?
Yes, because that just shows you that's cybercrime. The email providers are spending billions of dollars to fight spam, and it keeps coming out because all you need to do is sit down with it's called blaster. There are different names for it, and the blaster can blast 1 million emails in a 1 second, 1 million emails. So how are you going to do that? And the guy can sit down there. Before you know what's happening, he has blasted over 100 million emails in a day or two, and they are all owned by people. So part of what you should do as somebody. I usually tell people, never click on any link from your email address. Never, except you are 100% sure. If you're not sure, don't click. Copy and paste on your browser. That is much better. because the process of clicking it drops in the code or the malware or the spyware into your system. So these are some basic security measures you should take as a human. Now, whether you are a politician, whether you're a banker, whether you are a journalist or expert, it cuts across everybody. You have an image to protect online, and it's your duty to start protecting it now.
Okay, we will do a little bit of conversation with you after this program, so don't go away, because on our website we would love to be one of the champions of making sure that people understand what they should be doing and shouldn't be doing. So we'll tap into your resource, but we've got to wrap up.
Oh, we've got to wrap up now. Oh my God, I was going to say, okay, what other security things do you want to tell us as Nigerians to do? Especially most of us only operate our emails, and you have just told us one way of protecting those mailboxes. Yes. Never click on a link from your email. Are there any other things that we should be doing to protect ourselves?
So just as Alera said, we'll use that as closing statement. 2 points, each one of you. Let us have it so that we can wrap up now and move on to the next segment. 2 points that people should watch.
Technology is running faster than the law. You cannot stop technology because technology is time. All we just need to do is to speedify the process of the legal system to see how it can meet up and brace up with technology so that users can feel safe accessing the internet and using modern communications tools for their transaction. That is what we must be aware of. Thank you.
Okay.
I think coming from the government, we have the Computer Forensic Institute in Nigeria, for crying out loud. How many policemen are trained by the Computer Forensic Institute? And what will it cost the government to train them? 100,000 naira to train certain policemen on how to understand how data works. So I think as a matter of urgency, regulatory bodies should begin to send policemen, EFCC operatives, naval, military to the Computer Forensic Institute. It's here. And they work hard. Train them on how to understand cybercrime, so that if anything happens and we have a place to go to and report, because we have that institute that is ready to train them. But are they taking advantage of that? So the government should begin to train people in charge of the law and security operatives at the Computer Forensic Institute. That's a starting point for them.
Okay.
Yes, for me, my role as a digital media consultant, I would say this. I'm going to talk about parents now and social media. I think what parents should do in terms of security is that parents should start understanding what their children do on the internet. And one of the things they can do is that they should become their children's friends online. They should try as much as possible, because that's the next area where we're going to see a lot of crime. A lot of children, God forbid, are going to get molested, are going to get a lot of things are going to happen via social media. So I think I should encourage and advise parents to be more conscious on who their children interact with on social media, what they do on social media. But you see, because most parents are not understanding, as it were, kids don't add their parents as friends. So parents must understand that times have changed. You can't bring your 1940 strategy to 2012. It can work. This is the jet internet age. It has come to stay. So parents, please understand what your children do online and try to understand. You can't stop them. I've been to meetings and trainings where parents ask me, what can we do? Our children is always holding phone on Facebook. I say, parents, there is nothing you can do. It has come to stay. So what you can do now as a parent is to understand what your children do on social media and try to be their friends.
Okay, thank you very much. So I want to say thank you very much, Fred Agwata, digital media consultant. Thank you. And also Junior Pius Ekeh, software